Hello everyone, my name is Anurag and I'm your host for this session of Connecting Engineers to Industry. Welcome to our series of webinars where we interact about the technological advancements and market trends. And today we would be looking at IoT, that is Internet of Things, and we would be discussing on what is IoT. After that, why is it important? How is it being implemented in different sectors? And at the end, we would be looking at the market potential that this technology has. I'm just so this is going to be the outline of today's session. We would be starting the session in a couple of minutes. I'm just getting messages from a few people saying that there is some disruption of the internet on their side, on their part. So let us just wait for a couple of minutes and then we will start with the session. Okay, so let us start with the session. I believe all participants are in now. I just request you guys to not wait for the last minute to join the webinar, because when we talk about 10:30, you guys can at 10:31 or 10:32, because I believe time needs to be respected no matter who is the participant and who is the host. So I request you guys to please, from the next time, respect the time and accordingly join the sessions. So as we have already talked, so this session would be about the Internet of Things, where we'll be looking at what IoT is, why is it important, how is it being implemented in different sectors, and what is the market potential of this technology. So let us by looking at the question, which is the what. What is IoT? Well, IoT can be explained and described just by two simple words. That is, first is connecting, and the second word is integrating. So the first word is connect, and the second word is integration. Now, according to Internet of Things, describes the network of physical objects, okay, which is the things that are embedded with sensors, softwares, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. Let me explain you what this means. So if we break down the complete definition, the Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects. Now, what are the physical objects? It can be the microwave oven, or it can be your car, or it can be your gas stove from the kitchen. So these are the things. Nowadays, all these things are embedded with sensors, with different types of softwares and other technologies. Now, because of these things are embedded, we are able to uh, uh, connect all these, okay, with a Bluetooth system, or with the cloud system, for the purpose of exchanging data through the internet connection. So what happens is, when we are able to retrieve the data, we are able to make the analysis. We are able to understand why the machine or why the equipment is working in a specific way. We are able to understand the problems that the system is having, or we are able to connect with other people on the other side of the world. Even that thing is. I request you guys to join the session much before, so that no one is interrupting the session in between. Okay, sorry. Continuing. Um, so yeah, basically everything. So the whole Internet of Things works on perspective from three people. Every single business has three different layers, so to say. One is the manufacturer, who is making a product, or a commodity, or an idea. One is the manufacturer. Then comes the service, like in the middle, and then is the final customer. For many years, the manufacturer was never able to have a direct connection. Every single product, every single process can be viewed from three perspectives. One is the manufacturer, then is the service provider, and the customer. Let us take the example of the automotive industry, because we all have the understanding of how the sale of the automotive products is conducted, how a car is sold or how a bike is sold. In this case, let us consider a car. Uh, Through IoT in the automotive industry, two big revolutions have happened. The first revolution is the is of sorry. Yeah. First thing is the rate at which the car is sold after it is bought, right? So normally what used to happen is, there were, because of inflation and everything, if you are buying a car today and if you sell the car after 1 year, what would happen is the price of the car would reduce irrespective of you used it or not. Okay, so what happened now is, because of Internet of Things and all these and the connection with and the integration and bringing cars online, so that you can follow where the car, which car is where and everything. We have brought in a new idea of of converting transportation from a commodity to transportation as a service. Now, how has this happened? You can check out Uber, Ola, or Zoomcar. What these guys have done is, they have removed the idea of transportation being a commodity and converted it into a service. So now all the people who are buying a car, okay, they can run their car as Ola or as in Zoomcar, and they can generate a revenue for a time of, for example, 1 year or 2 years. And then after that, at the end of 2 years, when these people are selling the car, they are also generating an alternative revenue, which is going to cover up for the cost of the depreciation cost of the car. So this thing, so this Internet of this Internet of Things has revolutionized the way the automotive industry used to work before, especially in terms of the depreciation cost. The second aspect is for the service providers, which are the dealerships and the manufacturers. How this thing has worked. Um, because of the embedded systems, because of the amount of sensors, because of the number of softwares that are incorporated in the car, the manufacturers and the dealers are continuously able to retrieve the data, retrieve the information directly from the equipments of the car, directly from the things of the car. Now, how does this help them? Now, let us look at a scenario. Most of the people who buy the car, or I would say 90% of the people who buy the cars, are not automotive engineers. So when you take your car or your bike and you go to a service center and you say them, I'm not getting enough power delivery from my engine, or when I press the accelerator, the car is not going as fast as it used to go before. Do you remember you must have said this thing around not 4 to 5 years, I would say 10 years down the road. 10 years earlier, this is how the things you used to be described, that when I push the accelerator or when I push the pedal, the car is not going as fast as it used to go. Now, this is a very generic statement for a manufacturer or for a dealer to understand what is the problem with the car. But now, because of the Internet of Things, because of the sensors and everything, they can retrieve the real-time data and they can understand if the problem is with the torque, the problem is with the airflow, or the problem is with the braking system, which is automatically engaging the brakes whenever you are pushing the accelerator. So all these things. So now dealer is able to get the real-time information. Okay, the dealer is going to get the information directly from the machine, directly uh, from the car, of what actually the problem is. The same thing goes with the manufacturer. Before, when people used to ask the manufacturers, so before, when the manufacturers used to conduct the surveys, it used to be very vague. Do you like the car? Do you like the performance of the car? Yeah, the car has good performance. Now, according to me, the performance of the car can be comfort, but according to the other person, the performance of the car can be the power. Now, for the manufacturer, he will say performance is 5 star. Now I will go and buy and I can be sad, because for me the performance was neither power, was neither comfort. For me it was the average or the mileage of the car. So now the manufacturer is actually able to get the feedback directly from all the cars that he's selling. How? That we will be looking into very soon. So now now I believe you might have understood what is the meaning of the Internet of Things. That Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects. So it is a network of physical objects that are embedded with sensors, softwares, and technology and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems through the internet. So this is basically what Internet of Things is. As I was talking about the example, I'm sorry. So as I was talking about the example earlier, here on the slide you can see that the car is incorporated with the sensors in the vehicle. Now these sensors are able to provide the real-time wheel alignment data, the brake conditions, oil level, and the fuel level. Now this data is directly sent to the service center through a mobile application, or it is uploaded in the cloud, and then they are able to retrieve the data from their analysis and make of the data to understand where actually the problem is. I believe in the previous webinar or the webinar before, when we talked about multidisciplinary approaches, at that time I mentioned one thing about finding of a problem, about what engineering is actually. For me, engineering is not about finding solutions. It's all about finding the problem, because solution can be given by anybody, but finding what the real problem is, that is a big task. If you look at machine learning, if you look at data analytics, if you look at about towards the process management techniques, for example 5S, lean, just in time, whatever, all these techniques, the total production management, or quality assurance, all these tools or all these techniques concentrate only on one thing, which is finding out the problem, because problem finding is one of the most complex and the complicated parts of the engineering field. So even with this IoT, what we are concentrating is understanding where the problem lies. So now I believe you must have got the hang of what Internet of Things is. Now let us look at why is it important. Why Internet of Things is important. First, it provides us connectivity. Connectivity is quite important aspect, as we have seen before. The connectivity can be between the car and the dealer. The connectivity can be between the manufacturer and the and the consumer. It can be between the connectivity between the manufacturer, the car dealer, and also the final customer. So the connectivity is multidimensional when Internet of Things come into the scene. Now, the other thing is the cloud computing platforms like Dropbox, for example. If we take basic examples, Google Drive, Dropbox, and everything. Like now, the presentation that I'm giving, you can, okay, I think you guys cannot see this, but I always use Google Slides. I don't have Microsoft Word. I don't have Microsoft Office. I work completely on cloud. The reason for that is the data is all that I don't have to worry if my laptop crashes, because all my data is in the cloud. For the last almost an year, all the data of my company is managed only through cloud. We have absolutely no application in the laptops or in the computer of my team. Not even a single document is over. Everything is in the cloud. The third is the machine learning and data analytics. As I explained a little bit before, that machine learning and data analytics is actually the foundation of machine learning and data analytics is Internet of Things, and the outcome of machine learning and analytics is the problem, is the definition of the problem, of what the problem is. And the last is the conversational artificial intelligence. Now, what is conversational artificial intelligence? Siri, Alexa, or Cortana of Windows. So all these conversational artificial intelligence techniques are possible because of Internet of Things. Now, looking at these four reasons why Internet of Things is important, we can say that for the last few years, IoT has become one of the most important technologies of the 21st century. Now that we can connect everyday objects such as kitchen appliances, or we talked a bit ago about the cars or the thermostats or even the baby monitors to the internet via embedded devices, we are able to connect with people, with the processes, and also with all the things seamlessly without any kind of interruption. Like now I'm talking to almost 74 people right now without being with you guys. Now I have the knowledge which I got from my own experiences, and I'm able to share this with you guys. And even this thing is possible because of the Internet of Things, because of IoT, because IoT is the base. On top of that, all these things are born, all these things are built, so to say. So yeah, here right now, and by the means of this low-cost computing systems, the cloud, the big data, analytics, the mobile technologies, physical things can share and collect data with minimum human intervention. Now, when I talk about minimum human intervention, it's very important when you think about data analytics, because what happens is, because what happens is, when you're having some amount of data, for example, if you're having 100 data to make the analysis, it is very important that you don't have any error in that. As soon as a human being intervenes in the data collection process, the error of human, the human error is inevitable. You cannot remove it from the data retrieval process. I'll just give you an example. In the previous webinar, we talked about making making a coffee, right? So coffee has three ingredients: milk, coffee powder, and sugar. Okay, today I made a coffee and it was pretty good. Okay, so in my mind I registered the whole process. Okay, now I'm a human being, I'm registering the whole process that I need 1.5 spoons of sugar, right, to make a perfect coffee. For example, I need 1.5 spoons of sugar to make a perfect coffee. Tomorrow when I'm going to make the coffee again, it is not possible for me to put exactly 1.5 spoons of sugar, because I'm a human being. I'm bound to take a little bit of more sugar or less sugar. Now this is the human intervention during collection of the data. Now just imagine if there was a kind of a sensor system and the weight was collected electronically through a measurement equipment. So I would be 100% sure that the amount of sugar that I'm putting inside 1 cup of coffee is going to be 19.8 grams, for example. This is very specific. When you say 1.5 spoons, I can use a different spoon, and my mother, for example, can use a different spoon. So the human interference needs to be minimal when you are sharing or collecting data, especially when you're talking about data analytics or machine learning. So moving on. So the next question comes: how? Now we have seen what IoT is. Why is it important? Now we need to see how IoT is being implemented right now. Previously, industries used to have machines to handle communication, right? People used to have machine-to-machine communication, kind of machine-to-machine communication, to achieve wireless communication. How? If you want to open your car, you used to have a remote control, and then there used to be your car. You would click the button and the door would unlock. That is machine-to-machine integration. But now, because of IoT, there is an alliance between, there is a connection, there is an integration between your mobile phone and your car directly. Now you don't need that piece of remote. So what you have done is you have analyzed that there is a problem. You are carrying one extra device and you wanted to remove that from the system. So for that, the IoT came into picture. So now you don't need the key, you only need your phone to unlock your car, to check all the parameters of your engine and every single thing. So now industries are the same goes with the industries. Now industries have been able to achieve a new layer of automation with Internet of Things. They have removed all the unnecessary aspects out, and they have connected every single thing to the internet. Now what is happening is, because of this, the industries have achieved a new layer of automation, and now they are able to connect all this data. They are able to connect all the data and all the working systems of the machines of the company with their business models, with their revenue systems. And this is what in today's world is termed as Industry 4.0. The Industry 4.0 is just the system of integration, the integration of all the data to analyze how your business is working, how your machine is responding, when your machine would be needing the maintenance, how are your workers performing. This is what Industry 4.0 is, the integration of everything by using the Internet of Things. Now let us look at how this thing is being implemented. The first point of implementation is manufacturing. With the help of with the help of Internet of Things, the manufacturers are able to gain a competitive edge, because they are able to analyze how their people are working, how the production system is giving the output, is the company reaching the break-even point every single day, every single hour, every single minute, because because through the internet they are collecting the data in real time, in every single second. So they are able to do this as well. The second thing that comes up is the automotive. We have discussed that a few minutes ago on how the automotive industry is entirely connected and integrated now because of IoT. The next up is the transportation and the logistics system. This is brilliant actually, that the logistics system and the transportation is interconnected. For example, you can actually track which bus is where in terms of transportation. You are able to get the real-time information of how much time a bus is delayed. Okay, we are able to track exactly where the bus is where. The second part is the logistics. For example, DHL. With DHL provides us with a code which we can put it on the internet and it will tell us exactly where the parcel is. So all these things are connected with the internet, and all this thing is the Internet of Things. The second one is and then the next one is the retail. Now retail, we are having Amazon, for example. We are having Flipkart, another example. If you go to the offline stores, you are having the RFID process, like you have a barcode, you just take it, scan it, and everything is registered in the database. This is as well Internet of Things. Then the next comes and the next comes the public sector. So now in the public sector, with respect to the Indian government, you can see that application of Aadhaar, with the implementation of Aadhaar, everything is now online. Even if you want to start a company, you can register the company online. The banking system is online. You can open your bank account, you can close your bank account, you can make your transactions, every single thing online. You can pay your bills of the water, you can pay your internet bills online, everything is online. And the last but not the least is the healthcare. This is one of the biggest revolution in terms of implementation of IoT, the healthcare systems. Now the doctors, nurses, and the other people, often they need to know where their patient is. Now with the help of RFIDs, the RFID tags, they exactly know. They track every single person. They need to know how many the insulin bottles, for example, they have. So they have a database, and every single bottle of insulin, it has an RFID tag. So what they do is they just scan it, and they know how much material is coming in and how much material is going out. So they are able to track all the thing here as well. So this is how IoT has made an entry into different sectors of business. Now, what is the market potential of this whole system, of the whole technology? First thing is smart manufacturing. We have looked at that. What smart manufacturing is it is integration of all your production activities, of all your management activities with the business model, with your revenue model, to understand how your business is coping up with the system. The second is the preventive and the predictive maintenance. Nobody today has the time to close a complete manufacturing line, to close a complete construction business, or not a construction business, to close a complete construction site or something like that, to just make a maintenance. So now through the data analytics, through the machine learning, what the industry professionals are doing is they're anticipating the problem before it is going to happen. And this is only possible because the internet has connected your historical data to a website or to a tool which is continuously making the analysis in real time. So the preventive and predictive maintenance is also one of the potentials that the market is having right now. People are working on it, and this would be having the future for the next 5 years for sure. Then next comes the smart power grids, which is the transfer of power from one city to another. Even that thing has been connected with the internet now. The smart cities, civil engineers, this is your gold. The smart cities. The next one is the connected and smart logistics. We talked about it a little bit ago. And then last but not the least, the smart digital supply chain. Supply chain is one of the complicated industries in this world. Acquisition and then selling of the products, and then managing the warehouse. That is one of the most difficult things, and with the help of Internet of Things it has been simplified. But having said that, there is a huge scope of improvement in the area of supply chain. So this is also one of the areas to look for. Now, summarizing the whole scenario, uh, let us go back to the definition which Oracle gave for Internet of Things. That Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects, which we have seen till now during the last 30 minutes, that are embedded with sensors, softwares, and other technologies, which we have seen till now. Okay, for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data, for example, for preventive maintenance, for the predictive maintenance. So they collect the data and then they exchange the data with other devices and systems over the internet. I hope now this definition makes sense to you guys. Now, this is very interesting fact that I found out on the internet, that today there are 7 billion IoT devices. The devices that are connected to the internet, that is 7 billion today. By 2022, it is expected to be 10 billion, and by 2025, it is expected to have 25 billion devices. So from today, in the next 5 years, this IoT market is going to burst 3 times its today's potential. So the market potential that we are discussing now, it is going to increase 3-folds in the coming 5 years. So this concept of IoT needs to be understood by every single engineer, irrespective of the branch. So I believe, to sum up the Internet of Things, so basically, as in the beginning I said that that Internet of Things can be understood just by 2 words, and now I believe it must be making sense to you guys. That is connection and integration. That's it. That's all IoT is all about. Before we end today's seminar, today's session, I would like to inform you guys that next week we would not be having this 30-minute webinar, but instead of this 30-minute webinar, we would be having a 2-hour session of masterclass, which would be taken by one of our team members. It would be taken by Sumant, and the topic would be industrial design aspects, and we would be also also looking into the integration of quality in the. Now I know it sounds like more of a civil engineering or a mechanical or an industrial design kind of a topic, but I would say that each and every one of you can be a mechanical engineer, you can be a computer science engineer, you can be an electronics engineer. You must attend this webinar as this session as well, and this session would be having a certificate by the end of the 2-hour session. Of course, we would be having quiz, and all the students who pass the quiz, they would be getting a certificate. The thing is, during the last webinar, we spoke about the importance of multidisciplinary approach. And this is an initiative that we are taking with the next webinar. It's going to be for free of cost. The next 2-hour session that we are going to take, it is a part of the masterclass session that we take with our students. So yeah, so for next week I would be sending you guys the forms, which you can fill it up, and we will make the registration. It's going to be a closed event. It will not be like this, because this is even today we conducted this as an open event, but the next session would be a closed one, where you would be getting a link and you would be connected through video with us, and we would be answering your questions live, and we would be making discussions in group about your questions and all. So for today, yeah, this is it from our side on IoT. So if you guys have any kind of questions, you guys are more than welcome to ask. Okay, so the first question is, how can we integrate? Okay, it's civil engineering. Yeah. How can we integrate IoT with civil engineering? Yeah. Now IoT can be integrated with civil engineering through the designing things. I don't know if you know this or not, but SolidWorks, that is one of the designing software, SolidWorks, and also I think Rio has created a system of augmented reality in which whatever design you make in 2D or in 3D, you can actually visualize the whole system in front of you, and then you can find out the failure points in your design. Like you would be standing and you would be having cameras on all your sides, and it would be creating kind of a hologram. It would be creating a virtual design all around you, and then you are actually inside that design, and you are seeing how you like which are the points to make the corrections. So this is something that the companies have been working on related to IoT in civil engineering. So the next question is, okay, how is data analytics connected? Okay, so now data analytics is actually the integral part of this system of the Internet of Things. Internet of Things is actually the base, I would say, of the data analytics. Let us take an example of right now, the session that we are conducting. This session is actually collecting the data on the backside of who are the people attending this webinar, for how much time they have logged in, for how much time they have logged out, and everything. So right now we are taking this session through internet, and the internet is actually recording the data on the backside. Okay, on the hind side. After the session, what I usually do is I take out that data and I make the analysis in Excel. Now this is a basic thing that I'm talking about. The analysis that I make, it is about how much time which person has spent how much time a person has spent logging in and logging out, because a lot of times people say that we logged in but we were not able to get the internet. So it is important for even for me to understand and analyze what is the problem, why the people are not getting the internet connection. Now we analyze the problem that maybe people are not able to get the access because of internet connection, because we were conducting the sessions at 3:30 in the afternoon. So by the time it is 3:30, the people are getting up at 7 or 8 or 9 in the morning and using up all their internet by 9:30 by 3:30 in the afternoon. That is why we changed the timing of the session to 10:30. So before you guys consume your whole internet connection, we are able to conduct the session. Until now, nobody has complained to me that they are not able to connect. Other than the people who are having problem with the app or something like that. So yeah, basically this is how the things are. Okay, we have another question. Applications of IoT other than automotive industry. How it can benefit the mechanical engineering? Okay. All right. Let us assume. Okay, let us assume a company which is a manufacturing facility. Okay. Now, in the manufacturing facility, a company needs to have. The company is finding that they are not able to reach their break-even level. Okay, they are not able to reach their break-even every single month, and the company is running in loss. Now, this manufacturing facilities must be having CNC machines, or lathe, or all the equipments. Now all these machines can be connected directly to the internet to retrieve the information about the number of working hours of the machines, the number of operators who were working, the amount of time the machine was in a breakdown. How do you do that? Now, people, I have worked with managers who believe that their capacity of their manufacturing unit can be calculated directly by the number of machines multiplied by 24 hours. But that is not actually how the things work, because there is one thing is what is the capacity of your machine working and what is the potential of your machine working. The potential of the machine is to work 24 hours a day, right? But that is not the capacity of the machine, because when you talk about the capacity, there are going to be the breakdowns, there are going to be some kind of a maintenance issue, there is going to be the setup time, there is going to be the machine being stopped because there was no manpower over there. So there are multiple reasons. So in that company, when we started to retrieve the data directly from the machine, the number of hours in each day the spindle was actually moving and it was cutting the steel, we found out that it was less than 30% of the day when actually the machine was working. And this was possible because we connected the machine directly to the internet through a system which is called as TNC Remo. We connected it directly to the machine, to the internet. We got the data from there and we analyzed it in a software called as Minitab. And in Minitab, we were able to see, okay, the machine was working only 30% of the day. Then after that, we spoke with the guys and asked, okay, why is the machine not working 24 hours a day? It is not possible because we have to set up the part and everything. Okay, 20% of the time reduced. 80%. Why is the machine not able to work 80% of the day? These are the reasons. Okay, so let us make an investment towards that. Now, as you see, in this example that I have explained you, we use data analytics, we use machine learning, we use common sense, but we did not use all these three things to find a solution. We used these three things to find a problem, and the problem was that the machine was not working because there was loss of time during the setup of the parts, and there was loss of time because the people were spending a lot of time looking for tools and looking for things to set up a part or something like that. So what we did is we used analytics to find a problem and not the solution. So I believe I have answered your question. Instead of being anonymous, I would really appreciate if you guys could just write your name. So I believe we are already running short of, we have already exceeded our time. So we would be ending our session here now. I would like to thank you guys for attending the session. I believe you guys must have understood what IoT is. And if in case you guys have any kind of questions, you can drop us an email at info@vinyanconsultancy.com, or you can just WhatsApp us at this number, that is 808-504. Okay, there is a mistake. I'll just correct it up. Sorry, there is a mistake. I did not see this one. Okay. I believe it is visible now. Yeah. It's 808-504-3457. You guys can note this out, note this number, and you can give me, and you can send us a text. You can WhatsApp us, and we will get back to you as soon as possible inside 24 hours. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having an interaction with you guys. See you again on next Sunday. Bye bye.